Hey guys, it's Nailbiter, and I've got another World of Tanks replay here that I wanted to show you guys. This is a round that I had the Leopard 1 on Abbey, and it ends up being a really close round. It takes nearly the entire 15 minutes to complete, and it's a very tight finish, so I hope you guys enjoy this replay. I realize I've actually had the Leopard 1 for quite a while. It's one of my most played Tier 10 tanks. I think I'm pretty sure I have well over 400 battles with it now, but I don't think I've actually posted any replays with it up until this point, which is probably because it's a fairly unforgiving tank to play. It can be really rewarding when you get it right, but if you make any mistakes, you're going to be punished. This tank doesn't have any armor at all, and it's a very easy target for people to hit. Another issue that I had with this tank at first was that it doesn't really play all that well on the move. It's much more of a sniping tank. I mean, its gun is really good. It's got great accuracy, but on the move, the bloom on the aiming reticle is pretty large, and so it's not really a great tank for snapshotting, although I did get a little lucky right there with that shot on the STB-1. So generally this tank is geared more towards hanging in the back, being more of a support tank and sniping. And it's a little bit difficult to play this tank aggressively. I do actually run a vertical stabilizer now in this tank. I didn't at first. For a while I was running binoculars, but I decided that just because of the way that I like to play my medium tanks, I really have to be able to snapshot, or being able to snapshot is extremely helpful, I think. And especially also with shots on the move, it can be really helpful. So I decided to swap out the binoculars for the vertical stabilizer, and I think that helps a little bit. I've also got snapshot trained on my gunner, so that increases the accuracy on the move slightly as well. So as I said, this was a really close round that I had on Abbey, and as you'll notice, the teams, I mean, they're not really lopsided, but I think the enemy team definitely has the advantage. My team has a couple of decent players playing Tier 9 tanks, but I'm really the only really good Tier 10 player on my team. And I'm playing a tank that really doesn't do well in aggressive situations, so I've got to be pretty careful how I handle this. I did get a little bit too aggressive, as there you saw. I got a little bit lucky when I took no damage from the shot from the AT-15, who's probably camping around B4. I was looking to see if I could get some more shots on those guys in the western flank, and I just noticed that 111 before he was able to get a shot on me, so I kind of got stuck there, and I know I need to get out of there, out of that spot, and so I decided I wanted to run up into the Abbey area. Unfortunately I get spotted, and I make a bit of a mistake here as I cut in front out in the open and get tracked by that Waffentrager that's sitting in base. I could have repaired the track there, but I decided I'd rather not use my large repair kit this early in the game. It was a bit of a risk, especially with this tank. You know, there's a pretty high chance in that situation that you just end up getting completely crippled and lose all your hit points. I think I got shot in the back by the STB-1, but other than that I didn't get shot again, so I was a little bit lucky. I also do have full repair on this tank. I think I have full repair and full camo. This is actually the first tank whose crew I've actually gotten to 4 skills. So I've just started training my 4th skill now in this tank, but I do have full repair and full camo, which I think both actually are really helpful. So I actually decided to squeeze out into this little ledge next to the church. At first I wasn't sure I was going to be able to get out here. But I noticed that my team had really taken control of the eastern side of the map, so I thought if I could get over here and maybe put some pressure on the enemies in base, it would be it would allow my teammates to rush into the cap. So I got one shot into that Waffentrager before he got taken out. Then I noticed my Type 61 was getting pushed by this E75, so I turned around and got him tracked in a really nice position. And clearly his repair skill isn't good enough to get himself untracked. So I can just keep shooting his track here and take him out. To this point I haven't done a whole lot in this game. This round actually progressed fairly quickly. Each team only has 7 tanks left at this point, and I've only done 3,000 damage, so And up until actually taking out that E75, I really hadn't done all that much. It had been a fairly slow start. And I see this E75 moving up, so I'm going to put a shot into him. I'm a little worried about this 111 who's spotting me, or proxy spotting me from the other side of this building. I do have some trouble with this guy in this round, as you saw earlier. He nearly caught me off guard earlier, and now he's kind of keeping me cornered in here, as I don't really want to make any moves while I'm still spotted. I'd rather go stealth and then change location or something. Or ideally, I mean, I was thinking at first that I would like to try to go after this guy and get a cheeky shot into him. But he's not a bad player, and so I wasn't really going to be able to catch him off guard. I was thinking here maybe I could squeeze back through this opening and get a shot on him, but it looked like he was backing up, so I decided I wasn't going to risk it and get a kill shot on this AT-15 instead. Now I know the 111's gone stealth, so I know that I'm no longer spotted either, and I decide I'm not doing anything anymore from this position, so I need to just back out and go back and cover base. As I can see, the enemy team has started to push a few tanks in that direction. Fortunately, that SCB-1 gets taken out. And so now, as far as I know, it's really just a T-32 back there. This is still a very close game. It could go either way. Both teams have 4 tanks left. Both teams have their artillery left as well. I get lucky there. The T-32 misses me, and I know I can reload before him. Now, unfortunately, I make a mistake here. I thought I was going to reload quicker, and what I was doing was I was holding down my left mouse button so that I would shoot as soon as the gun reloaded. And instead, I thought I was going to reload faster, and I moved too quickly, and the shot missed. And there I get really lucky as the T-32 bounces off my side. He only damages my track, it looks like. So once again, I made a bit of a bad play there, but I'm fortunate that I didn't lose any hit points because of it. Although I could have used that extra time, as the T-32 on my team is by himself in the enemy base against an E-100, and if I'd been a little quicker getting that kill, I could have gone up here and maybe taken a shot, or put a shot into the 111 a little sooner. Instead, I'm kind of late getting up here, and so this guy's turned around by the time I have a chance to shoot him, and unfortunately this shot, I have to rush it a little bit, and it hits his upper plate, which is never going to pen from that angle. Now I have to back out as quickly as possible. I don't want to get shot by the E-100, and so I get behind this house quickly. Kind of trapped again. I'm thinking maybe he'll try to rush down, but he's kind of cautious there, and I decide to try to escape out. It looks like, unfortunately, that Waffenträger took a shot and wasn't able to return one, so he took some unnecessary damage there. Now I decide, since I know the 111's in the center and the E-100 is somewhere in base, I figured the E-100 would maybe be moving up to support the 111, so I wanted to flank around. Our E-100 said that the artillery was somewhere in the A1, A2 area, and I figured as well, since our team had moved up and pushed along the 8-9 line and hadn't spotted the artillery, that he was probably somewhere in that location. So I decided I would try to take him out first and then go after the E-100 and the 111. Yeah, fast forward there a bit as I was checking to see if the 111 was still in the center. Now the Waffenträger on my team decides to move up the 7 line, and unfortunately gets taken out there by the E-100. I would have really preferred if he had just hung back as I killed artillery. I probably should have told him that's what I was doing, but unfortunately gets killed. The artillery is in a slightly different spot from where I expected, but I'm able to get around him just before he can traverse back to shoot me fast enough. And the E-100 shot, fortunately, is a little bit behind me, so I'm able to take out the GW Tiger without too much trouble. And I decide to rush back to base. I figured that the 111 would be more aggressive in this situation, and knowing that I was all the way on the opposite side of the map would try to go towards our base and kill our artillery. So that's where I'm going. I'm rushing back to base to try to defend, thinking that's where he's going. I was definitely a little bit surprised here with how passive the enemy team played. I would have expected them to push a little bit more. But I suppose I'm in a pretty fast tank, and when you're in slower, heavy tanks, there's a tendency to, be worried that the enemy could get around you and flank you, and you don't really want to take the risk or run the risk of pushing and, having the enemy go around you and cap or something. So there's not a whole lot of time left either at this point, or just about 3 minutes. And as you can see, I'm checking all these corners because I was pretty sure that the enemy would be trying to push up in advance, as they had 2 tanks, whereas we only had just me and the Leopard and the artillery. Now I figure, well, I haven't seen them and they haven't gone to the base yet, so maybe they're just still camping around in their base. So I went back here to check to see if the E-100 was still in the same spot. I don't spot anything from this bush, and I'm looking to see if I can get down without tracking myself or taking any damage. So I drop down. Don't get spotted from the center. I was thinking maybe the 111 would be there, but I don't get spotted from there either. Now I'm checking to see if the E-100 is still in the same spot. And there I spot him watching the 9 line. And I get a very, very fortunate snapshot there into him. And I turn around quickly. I didn't want to get shot from the 111, who I figured would still be in the center. So that's what I'm worried about. And I decided to back off because I don't want to get rushed by the 111. It's at this point, though, that I realize that our artillery is moving up the 9 line, and so he's going to encounter or engage the E-100 pretty soon. And I need to be in a situation where I can support him or take advantage of the fact that the E-100 is going to probably shoot him. So I have to rush back up there and support him. The artillery actually puts a good shot into the E-100. And now I know there's just over a minute left at this point, so I can't take too much time in dealing with this guy. So I use the other E-100 wreck as cover, and I just rush straight at him. Try to do a little bit of a juke, make him guess which way I'm going, and just pick away. And I really, kind of fortunate that shot goes in, but I get the kill and his shot misses. So maybe that little juke worked. And there the 111 is right behind. Now unfortunately the 111 kills the artillery. I was hoping that that wouldn't really happen. So now it's just a 1v1. I hesitated a little bit there once I tracked him. I probably should have gone immediately to get around him. And unfortunately I get tracked there. I use my large repair kit, but I'm still able to get around him. The 111 really should have stayed closer to the cliff so that I couldn't circle him like I am doing now. And I got the one track shot, and that was really all I needed. I was trying to retrack there, but it didn't work. And there I take another shot, and I'm left with 27 hit points, but I know I can reload before he does, and I get the kill shot with just 12 seconds left. So a very close round, but a really satisfying victory. I was pretty happy with the way this one worked out. I didn't do too much in the beginning of the round, but I was pretty happy with the way I played in the last few minutes especially. I find getting it right and succeeding in those situations where it's 2v2 or 1v1 is really satisfying, and so I was really pleased with the way this round finished. So I ended up with Top Gun, about 6,500 damage, and an Ace Tanker with the Leo 1. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.